What's up, guys? It's Chad here, Jeeves, coming to you from my driveway today. If you've been following the channel, you know that behind me is our new to us 2021 Grey Wolf 29BH. And today's subject is it safe to connect the power from the standard household plug, the 120, to your 30 amp camper? Let's find out after this. So here we have our 29BH. This is a 30 amp camper. It has one air conditioner on the roof. Now, before a camping trip, I always pull this thing home a few days ahead of time, get it ready, pack it, etc. And I have not bit the bullet and connected a 30 amp breaker to the house yet. It's on the list. I've had this thing for a little over a year now, so I've been kind of making do with what I got. So here's what I got. Alright, so obviously if you're new to camping and you read this right here, it says this connection is for 110 to 125 volt AC, 60 hertz, 30 amp supply. Okay, do not exceed circuit rating. Now, if you are going to be connecting 30 amp to your standard household socket, you're not exceeding, you're under. You're way under, okay? I believe a standard household socket, I'm not an electrician, I believe it's a 15 amp. So we're going to say half the amount of power the camper should be getting from your house. Okay, so here's what we got. I got my normal, I believe it's either a 20 or 30 foot, 30 amp connection. I have my standard drop cord from the house. It is plugged in right here to a little surge protector on my toolbox. Now, the magic takes place with, obviously this is not going to connect to that, so don't think it's going to. It's going to come in the form of this little adapter right here. This little adapter is magic, okay? It's pretty much made by Camco. It is a 15 to 30 amp adapter. So power comes in here to the standard household plug, and then you plug your 30 into the back of this. This bad boy works fine. It is water resistant, so this does get left outside. So let's get this thing hooked up, and I will show you what you can and cannot run on the inside of your camper. Just for reference, this is what it's supposed to look like, all right? You do not want to have any gaps, so seat it all the way on. You don't want any water technically get in there, but yeah. All right, so let's get on the inside of the camper. I literally just pulled up about 20 minutes ago. I had got it leveled out, and yeah, getting ready to plug it in so I can run my refrigerators, etc. in here. All right, I do apologize. Everything is closed up and it is warm. All right, so first thing is first. You might not know this, you might know it, but you're gonna come over here to your main circuit breaker. Mine happens to be under the refrigerator. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is come over here and flip on your main, okay? Flip the main breaker on. Next thing you're going to want to come down here to turn on your converter. So that thing fires up there, and the refrigerator turns on because that is connected directly to the 12 volt circuit. So I should be showing power. Yep, I got, says 13.7 volts. All right. So next thing I'm going to do on a normal time is I extend my slide out. I just came from outside and there should be nothing in the way here. Doesn't look like it. All right, so I'm going to extend this out. So we're going to do slide out. Hopefully they're the best. All right, just made my camper twice the width. All right, so I'm going to turn on a couple lights in here, and I'm going to go over everything. All right, let's get all these lights on. Nice, nice, nice. I have about 30 of these push lights in this camper. I love this camper, it's awesome. Okay, back to my face. I do apologize, I am sweating. It is hot in here. It was 90 when I pulled the camper over here. Got it into about half shade on the side of my house, but it is still warm. Okay, So, the question here is it safe to run this camper like this from your standard household plug? The answer is absolutely yes. It is safe to run this whole camper except for one thing. Okay, so your 15 amp, 120 volt household plug coming in here is obviously providing 12 volts. However, being that it's 15 amps at 12 volts, if you do the calculation, that is somewhere between 1200 to 1500 watts, okay? So technically you can run pretty much, we'll just say for safety, 1200 watts of power at one time in this camper, the way it sits from your household, standard household plug. Okay, so for example, this refrigerator is probably taking, we'll say 200 watts right now. It just turned on, it's trying to get cold. All right, so you got 200 watts there. All these lights are probably like, 5 watt LED bulbs. I can get the TV over here cranked. I can get, that takes a good amount of power. I probably wouldn't run that with anything else, but I can run it. So I'll show you that right now. I don't really want to. We're gonna put power on. I believe this thing is, oh, actually, this is all on different circuits, so I do apologize. I'm gonna have to go flip on some other things to get it going. But like I said, during the winter time when I'm getting this camper ready, we do turn this on for warmth in here. All right, the things that you cannot run from the standard household plug, this bad boy right here, okay? You can't run the air conditioning. That is not gonna work. It doesn't matter if you have absolutely nothing else on, the AC is not gonna run. It's just gonna blow the fuse. So don't even try it. Your furnace is also not going to work, okay? So your heat, your air conditioning are not going to work. But everything else in this camper is going to work connected to your standard household plug, which is awesome. Because if you're going to, let's say, visit family, visit relatives, very few people that do not have a camper are not going to have a 30 amp service on their house. It just generally does not happen. I have a camper and I still don't have a 30 amp service on my house, okay? So keep that in mind. It is perfectly safe to run the camper on a standard household plug. All right, guys. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, happy camping. Bye.